Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast episode of She Speaks Her Mind, your host, Anna Pedron. Guys, if you're watching this video right now, my face is just like, I'm just smiling so much, I can't stop. I'm sorry. My apologies. But welcome back to another podcast episode. I'm so glad you are here today. If you are watching this episode right now, look at this new podcast setup. This is maybe the official or maybe not the official podcast setup of where I would be filming, but I do have multiple setups of where I want to be filming now because I finally decided to decorate the room upstairs that has been lacking for about 2 years since living in this place, and I've finally come to the conclusion, okay, I think I might as well I'm gonna move the mic over here just because I want you guys to see this fit right now, okay? But can you guys tell how excited I am for this podcast episode? Anyways, it has been way long overdue for me to do something about this room. So here we are. It's going to be my spiritual meditation room, section number 2 of what's in this house. Because I know it's not a big deal for some people that don't really care where their podcast is filmed, but I do like to portray myself in a nice, spacious, and comforting area where I know we can just hang out and it feels right, if you get what I mean. Moving along with this episode, we're just going to get right into it because this podcast episode is all about your divine feminine, and I've been waiting so long to film an episode like this just because if I'm going to be talking about the divine feminine energy, I want to make sure that I'm in tune with myself to actually know what I'm talking about, and furthermore to also educate myself in that way and educate you guys, get inspired by what I see online and what I see in person about feminine energy and what it actually means. So this year, I've really been called to step into my divine feminine energy. I'm going to be saying that a lot, guys. So put your guys' seatbelts on because we're going for a long ride here with these words. But anyways, I really call it in for 2024 to own my power back, be in my receiving mode, and let go. Now, you might be thinking, Anna, that's really cringy to say. Don't ever say that again. Or you might not really know what I mean by that. And that is why we're going to be diving deep in today's episode to fully step our power into our soft feminine side. So this one is for the girly pops. You want to be more in your feminine side? This episode is for you. If I'm going to be talking about this in today's episode, I'm going to dress how I want to dress. And if I were to wear a matching sweatsuit and kind of look homeless, that doesn't really fit the vibe for today's episode, but it's okay if you're in your comfort clothes right now. I'm just saying, if you're watching this podcast episode, I just hope that in some way this inspires you to step out of your comfort zone and dress how you actually want to dress. Being in a masculine world that values success and money, our inner goddess inside of us can get lost. So if we want to tap into our divine feminine, these are some of the things we can do to activate it. First things first, we have to learn to take pride in our appearance. Whatever that means to you, you can get in touch with Mother Nature and let yourself be vulnerable. That is something that I had to learn the hard way. And when you let yourself be vulnerable, that is allowing you to tap into your divine feminine. I'm also going to preface this just because I know there are some people that are like, why is it so bad to step into your masculine side? It's okay. It's not a bad thing at all. We do need both sides of us to balance ourselves out. We just can't be one more than the other. But what we need to learn is that we have to balance our energies out. One thing I notice about being in a fast-paced city, and I think it's just in today's world, is where it is so hard to let go and step into our feminine side when all we do in this generation is just hustle. I've been in this hustle mode, this grind mode for as long as I can remember, and I thought it was the best thing for me. But then I forget that I have a soft side to me. In today's society, I notice that we are taught to be logical and explain things. And with that being said, that is a masculine attribute. The one tool for us women to recognize is that the most powerful tool is that we need to feel things. So if you're having a debate with someone, for example, your partner, your man, and you say that you don't feel like it, you have to stand by your feminine side, because us as women, we have to feel these things and be the emotional center of the world. And what I love about us women is that we can dress however the fuck we want. And actually, I should take that back because also in today's society, if you're wearing something that stands out and shows your skin often, people will think that it's for attention and people will think that you're doing it for the guy's attention wherever you are. When we dress like that, we do it for ourselves. We don't care about anyone else in the room because we are dressing to look cute. We are dressing to feel cute and look good and feel good for ourselves. Fuck anyone else who thinks that, oh, I'm dressing for attention. And, even if you are, I mean, that's okay. But for the most part, for us women, you know dang well that those leggings that you are wearing that make your booty look good, you're wearing it because you feel good in it, period. Only up until now is when I reflected back over the last 5 years of how deep I was just into being in my hyper masculine role, where I actually never really embraced my feminine side. So I'm going to give you guys a little story time because what's a podcast of mine without giving a story time or giving like a personal example that I can give you guys. Back when I was a teenager and back when I was a kid, I would tell everybody my favorite color was blue. And I hated pink. Well, that's what I thought. This is kind of funny, but I used to always dress like a tomboy, so to speak, and never stepped out of my comfort zone. And if I did, I was dressing up for validation. Who didn't at the time when they were a teenager and they were in high school? Or if you are in high school, that is something you're going to have to go through, is that sometimes you don't really dress for yourself. You're dressing for like that cute guy that always walks past by you in the hallway. And that's okay. You're still young. You're still flourishing. But when you grow up and, become the woman you want to be, your views and your perspective changes. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, at that point, I really hated being a girly girl because I thought having the attitude of acting masculine would make me look cool, when in reality, it really didn't. It just made me look like a loser. I'm going to say that. I'm going to be honest. I felt cool at the time, but I didn't realize, like, as I'm growing up and looking back at who I was, I kind of felt like I was a loser. Okay, I'm gonna have to say that because like I tried way too hard to act and look cool for people who really didn't give a shit about me. But if you really want to embrace your feminine side, you have to have that resilience, have the compassion, communication, and just appreciating all the small little things in life. One thing about me, for the longest time, I used to have such a hard time with accepting compliments from strangers, friends, and family. And I would always be like, oh, no. Like, I would always change the subject to not have it all about me. But I realized that when you start accepting compliments from anyone, you start tapping into your divine feminine by being confident and knowing that you're actually beautiful. Now, this is a tip for all my ladies, and it just ruins our feminine side when we don't see it. But when we rush doing everything, even if it's the most mundane thing ever, it could be cleaning the house, getting ready to go out, folding laundry, working out, doing your makeup. And we just have to take a step back and be more patient and diligent with what we do. So an advice I have for us girly pops is that if you have somewhere to be and you specifically know when you're supposed to leave, give yourself a few hours in advance to get ready. Because then we don't have to be so reactive with everything that we do, like getting mad at ourselves, blaming ourselves at the fact that we're running late. And to just really be with ourselves and take our time to get ready and play the music that you want to play in the background and dance away while you're doing your makeup. Like, you have all the time in the world if we actually take our power back and take time for ourselves instead of rushing it. And most importantly, that we don't leave anything behind. With that being said, on being reactive, if people are giving you the benefit of the doubt, try to piss you off, annoy you, someone doesn't want you in their life, or whatever it could be, it is time to be unbothered, my friends, and not give them a reaction. Why? It's really doing you more harm than good. And what you're going to get out of it is just more of a temptation to get more pissed off, which is something you don't want. So when you allow yourself to embody the divine feminine energy, you know your worth. You're never going to chase after someone because you know what you deserve. This is going to be a hard pill to swallow for everybody, or for some of you. Maybe I'm personally attacking you. Sorry, but this is also for me. But what I'm saying is that sometimes it's hard to say no, and we have to say no to set boundaries with ourselves. I'm not sure where I heard this from or where I learned it from, but for the longest time is that wherever I am or wherever I am out in public, going to get food, going to the gym, walking out in a parking lot, running errands, I walk with confidence. I do not look down. I make sure my chin is up, shoulders are back, head is high, and I give people eye contact. That's something that I've had to learn the hard way, because when I used to give people eye contact, it would kind of give me the jitters. It would kind of make me self-conscious in a way, because I did not like eye contact whatsoever. I used to be someone who would always keep things to myself, talk down on myself, be so damn self-conscious with anything in general, and I would always have my head looking down and shoulders shrug. Now I want people to know I am that bitch, I am that girl. I walk with confidence, I am confident, I'm speaking confidently, and I want to be someone that anyone can approach me without hesitation, because I want to radiate my confident energy to those around me. Okay, I'm not sure where I was. I had to stop the video for a bit because Brayden came home, so I had to go see him. But now we are back. As you guys know, if you've been watching for a while, if you've been listening, I gotta make sure that I stay hydrated. So I always have my pink water bottle with me and remind you guys that you should be drinking your water as well. So let's drink and sip together. Also, if you're watching the podcast episode video version, did you guys notice how I decorated my mic? Because it is full of flowers and I actually got them at the dollar store. So that's a bonus because it was cheap and I didn't have to pay much because it was a dollar store. Moving on. So when you transform yourself into your divine feminine and your highest self, you need to stop talking down on yourself and making yourself the joke. This is something that I used to do a lot when I was a teenager, is that I used to be like this on my YouTube videos where I would just talk down on myself all the time without even realizing it for the most part. I would just put myself down because I was just so insecure. I was just full of hatred where I didn't really see any positivity coming in and coming out. So there were a lot of YouTube videos that I had back in the day in 2017 and I did archive them. So if you're going to search through them, it's going to be hard to find because it's not there unless I put it out in public. Even the things that I did say off camera, it was just so sad to me that I actually went through this. And now that I think about it, I'm so glad that I am healing through this process and not letting myself be in that situation anymore. So props to me because I am proud of myself for healing myself through it all and just being kind to myself. So when you want to actually increase your feminine energy, you as a woman, you have to recognize that you as a whole, you start to embody what feels true to you. You know that you are safe and provided for, and you also honor your masculine side and let it just protect you from certain situations. And the one big thing that we think that we need to do to be feminine, we don't have to find it. We don't have to search for it because you become it and you allow everything that's already here to fill you up. You don't have to chase for it and you shouldn't have to chase for it, but you acknowledge that you're just beautifully feminine where you are right now. And as you get older, you start to realize more things about yourself that you love about yourself. Your body already knows and you become unstoppable when you listen to your intuition. And when you listen to your intuition, you just follow it. And the big thing about intuition is that you are just one step closer to getting to your desires. And a question you might ask yourself is, how do you trust your intuition exactly? And it just takes practice and it becomes easier as you keep practicing. So something that I realized when I have been stepping into my divine feminine is that I no longer have to seek validation outside of myself. For a fact, I am content with who I am and truly fulfilled from the validation that I get from within. So when you tap into your divine feminine, some questions you can ask yourself is that, what do I want? How do I want to think about this? Is this supporting me in the life that I want to create? Is this making me happy? And do I feel fulfilled fulfilled in this situation. So when I started getting creative with what I like to do outside of content creation, I actually had no idea that I had so many other hobbies that I actually enjoyed once I started tapping into my feminine side. I have a lot of things in my home that I like to do that allows me to be creative and kind of lets me loose and helps me flow in ways where I allow myself to embody my creativity and the art within whatever I do. And it's not my phone, surprisingly. So what is this podcast episode without talking about Hitomi? If you guys don't know her, she has been one of my biggest inspirations on YouTube for a while now. Sorry, I went for another break once again. But where we left off, Hitomi, of course. Let me just take my water break once again. But if you guys don't know who she is a YouTuber, writer / creator, and she has built this lifestyle for herself where she has balanced both work and her creative side. And why I'm saying this is because Hitomi has balanced her life where she is able to create whenever she wants and has the freedom to do so. She has no restrictions to whether or not she wants to be working. So that is the lifestyle I am aiming for. And even though I kind of am in that space right now, I want to be where she is, where I can just travel wherever I want while I'm also in my work mode, but being able to shut that off and, live lavishly and travel. Hi guys, this is future Anna here. I just want to say and let you guys know that the audio of the mic version cut off. So now you're just going to be hearing the camera audio version, which I'm very upset because the camera mic is not that great compared to the Shure mic. But for the rest of this podcast, this is what you're going to hear. I'm sorry, I apologize, but sometimes there's going to be technical difficulties with this, and it sucks that it is in this episode, but hope you guys are enjoying this one. And the reason why I brought her up is because she talks so much about womanhood and sisterhood and discovering yourself and being able to love yourself, because I've noticed with some of her comments on YouTube is that there was a lot of comments that would say, like, Hitomi's videos would trigger me, but now that I've been at peace with myself, I've been able to actually watch a whole video of hers without feeling so harmful. And that's when like her followers have been there through it all with stepping into the feminine side and stepping into just a new reality of who they really should be. And one thing she does online is that she just embodies her feminine side so much and loves her body for what it is, and no matter what stage it's at, she really has no shame. And that's like the confidence that I want to bring within myself, and for the people that are watching or listening, that's something that I also want to just inspire you guys to just be able to see who you really are and just love yourself for who you are. So the type of person that Hitomi is, that is the type of person that I want to be attracting into my life. She's energetically who I want to be around. So now that we talked about how we should be tapping into our divine feminine, we must learn what not to do that is unhealthy, and sometimes we don't even realize it. So it's pretty much everything that I said, but you are doing the opposite of it. But I'm just going to go more into details of why I think that I should talk about more of it. So to go more in depth with it is that you need to stop needing external validation from everything or anyone. You would be too afraid to speak your own truth. You apologize for who you are, you compare yourself to other women, and almost view them as a threat. There are so many things to add onto this, but know these things when you wound yourself and you're vibrating low. So for women who are stuck in their masculine energy, there's usually a few things that they have in common. One, they struggle to slow down. Two, not spending time doing things that are not seen as productive. The little micro moments, doing things just for fun and just for pleasure. Learning to create tiny moments of romanticizing your life that will start to shift your energy into a feminine state. I just wanted to show you guys what Pebbles looks like, because all you can hear is him barking in the background, but he is not really in my podcast videos. So if you guys don't know, he is a Shih Tzu Pom. Say hi, baby boy. But that is all for today's episode. That is just something I wanted to end it off with, is just showing you guys also the opposite of what the unhealthy side of what not to do, of being in your feminine state and being too masculine with what you do in today's world. So if you listened all the way through, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. If you're interested in help with your breathing so loud, if you guys are interested in a specific topic that you guys want me to talk about, let me know in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're on Spotify, you know where to type it down in the show notes. Make sure to give this episode a 5-star rating, just so that it can be shown to new people out there that want to listen, or people who are trying to find a new show to watch or listen to. That would be very helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode, and I could definitely do a part 2. There's just so much to talk about when it comes to just stepping into your divine feminine energy, and it's never too late to be in that soft feminine side. Enough of me yapping. Hope you guys love this episode, and I will talk to you guys soon.